Welcome back to Book Break. It is the most exciting day of the month. It is book haul day and I have got an absolutely massive book haul to show you all today. This is taking muscles that I do not have to lift this up and show you. There's so many books in this box. This is a surprise box of books filled with some of the most exciting books that we have published here at Macmillan in the last month. And I don't know what's going to be in there, but I've just seen that the book on the very top, very appropriately considering how much strength it just took me to lift that box, is Stronger by Paula Bell. This is a book all about women's strength and redefining the way that we think about women's strength. So it's part memoir and it's part manifesto. It is Paula Bell's own story of how she took up powerlifting after going through the grief of losing her husband. So for her, this journey of developing this strength that she never knew that she had was a really personal journey, and one that had nothing to do with weight loss or any of the messages that women are so often sent when it comes to doing exercise. This is about her discovering her own inner strength, physical and emotional. It also explores the fact that physical pursuits can really amplify your confidence. That can help us in so many other areas of our lives as well. In conclusion, book shopping is good for me because it means I'll have more heavy boxes to lift. Next in here is The Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scoutsy. This is a sci-fi book about dinosaurs, or dinosaur-like creatures. It's about a main character called Jamie who is offered a mysterious job. It's something to do with animal preservation, but what Jamie isn't immediately told is that the job actually takes place in another dimension, on a planet ruled by these massive dinosaur-like creatures. They are called Kaiju and they are the largest and most dangerous animals in their universe, and there is a risk that the boundaries between our universes are about to crumble. The Darkest Sin by D.V. Bishop is historical crime. This is the second book featuring Cesare Aldo, a detective in the 16th century in Florence. In this one, a murder victim is found stabbed in a convent, and as unthinkable as it sounds, it seems that one of the nuns must be the killer. Green Living Made Easy by Nancy Birtwistle. This looks like such a helpful little book. So this has got 101 eco tips, hacks and recipes to save time and money. So Nancy Birtwistle, as well as being the winner of Great British Bake Off, is also the author of Clean and Green, which is a book where she shows you all about how to clean your home in a more eco-friendly way and how you can do this on a budget. And in this book, she makes it even easier. Making any of the changes in this book will make a difference to saving our planet, so that's pretty incredible considering quite how simple she makes it. There's recipes in here, there's instructions for how to make your own soaps, how to make your own cleaning products, tips for if you do something like shrink your jumper. Nancy Birtwistle has got the easy answer for how to get it back to the right shape. It's a really, really handy little guide. Ooh, I've just read this one. This is The Golden Couple by Hendricks and Sarah Pekkaman. This is the fourth book written by this duo. They are quite the writing pair. On the surface, this book is about a couple who have this seemingly perfect marriage but have come to seek the help of a therapist. But a therapist that they choose is rather rogue. She's recently lost her license for her unconventional therapy methods and they choose to take a chance on her. But no one in this book is quite who they seem. Avery, the therapist, has got more secrets in her past than we initially realised, and so do this couple. One of them, or both of them, have been lying to each other. The Missing Sister by Lucinda Riley. This is book number 7 in the Seven Sisters series. This is such a huge popular series. I know loads of you are fans. Let me know in the comments below if you have been waiting to find out the answer to this question that is tackled in this book. Who and where is the seventh sister? And we've got some children's books, always my favourite part. So let's look at this first. Busy Easter Chicks. You know I love these. It's got some push, pull and slide bits. We're hunting eggs, but what's that sound? A cheep, a chirp. Look what we found. There's chickens in there. And you can make the chickens move. Am I 30 or am I 3? It's hard to tell. And this gorgeous book is The Moomin ABC, an illustrated alphabet book. So perfect for fans of the Moomins. Oh, it's gorgeous. This seems to be my perfect page. Q is for quiet, R is for reading, There's nothing more pleasant than reading your own book aloud. Right, what's next? Ooh, Our Lady of Mysterious Ailments. So this is the sequel to The Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu. It's part of the Edinburgh Nights series. So our main character in this series is a girl called Roper living in Edinburgh, and she is part Scottish, part Zimbabwean, and she can talk to ghosts. So in the first book, she stumbled across an occult library. What's going to happen in this one? She gets a job at a specialised hospital where a new illness is resisting magical and medical remedies alike. Ooh, lives are at stake and Roper is running out of time. This book is really beautiful. Your Story Matters by Nikesh Shukla. So this is kind of a practical guide to writing your own story, whether that's fiction or non-fiction, poetry, prose, or you haven't even decided yet, you just know that you want to write something down. This is the book that will get you started. And look how pretty it is under the jacket. Love that. So this has got loads of prompts in here, exercises, warm-ups, all to help get you started. And as well as having Nikesh Shukla's voice talking to you about why your story matters, why each individual person has a voice that can be added to the world. Find your voice, sharpen your skills, tell your story. I think this might be my next resolution, to work my way through the exercises in this book. They look really fun. A fab book right here, Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. I absolutely loved this one. I've talked about it quite recently in our video about books about the mysteries of the sea. This is about a married couple, Leah and Miri. Leah has just been on a deep sea mission that went wrong and she has come back forever changed. So it's a very surreal, very dreamlike novel. We also get flashbacks to their life before and then also following Leah on this mission trying to discover what actually happened there. It's a sort of love story and a horror story all rolled into one. Julia Armfield writes in a genre that she has created all on her own. Ooh, then we have The Exhibitionist by Charlotte Mendelssohn. This is another fantastic book and it is on the long list for the Women's Prize, which is very exciting. This is about a woman whose husband is putting on an exhibition. So they are both artists, but her career has been taking off a lot more successfully recently than his has, and he really resents her for it and is just this horrible man who makes her life very, very hard, and she is just trying to keep the family together. The family have all assembled for this exhibition, and if you like books about dysfunctional families, which I know a lot of us do, including myself, this is perfect. The family in here are absolutely chaotic. But as well as trying to keep everything running smoothly, the wife Lucia also has a secret of her own. There is a woman that she has been falling in love with, and she has to decide whether to put herself first for the first time in years. Then we have Empire of Pain by Patrick Radden Keefe. I really need to read this. I have just been watching Dope Sick on Disney+, which is also about the Sackler family and the opioid crisis, and I really, really want to read more about it. This is the perfect book to do that with. It's about the Sackler family, whose company created and aggressively marketed the drug OxyContin, which they claimed, with no evidence to back that up, was non-addictive. And as I'm sure we all know by now, it is in fact very, very addictive and caused a massive crisis across the country, across America, and particularly across the communities where this drug was really heavily pushed. I think I will get super angry reading this book, and I'm excited to do that. I spy something pretty! Moonlight and the Pearler's Daughter by Lizzy Pook. So this is historical fiction. It's set in Australia in the late 19th century. So the Brightwell family have been living in Australia for 10 years. They sailed over from England to make their fortune in the pearling industry. But 10 years later, the father of the family goes missing from his ship, and it's up to his daughter Eliza to solve the mystery of what's happened. And the book itself is shiny like a pearl. And there's another sparkly one in here, The Atlas 6 by Olivier Blake. This is the TikTok sensation that I am sure you have heard about. It's been absolutely massive. 6 extraordinary magicians, 5 chances to win, 1 secret society. This is one for the dark academia fans, for the fantasy fans, and for everyone who just wants to know what everyone on TikTok has been buzzing about. The book was originally self-published, and that's when it actually first became huge on TikTok, but now we've got this brand new edition with illustrations in it as well. Let me show you one. Gorgeous character art in here, which is all brand new. And this box is just the gift that keeps on giving. It's not even nearly empty yet. This is Shards of Earth by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is the first book in the Final Architecture series, now out in paperback, so if you haven't already snaffled it up in hardback, now is your time. In the depths of space, a monster awakes. Adrian Tchaikovsky is, I'm sure you know, a massive name in the world of sci-fi. So in this book, 80 years ago, Earth was destroyed by an alien. Some escaped, but millions more died. And so basically humans created these sort of superhumans who could go into battle, but then the aliens that were attacking disappeared, and so these heroes, like our main character Idris, were forgotten. But 80 years later, where this book kicks off, Idris makes a huge discovery. It seems like the aliens have returned. This is very pretty. The Ophelia Girls by Jane Healy, another one now out in paperback. This is set between the summer of 1973 and the summer of 1997. So in the 70s, we follow a teenager called Ruth and her 4 friends who spend the scorching summer days in the river, recreating tableaus of the drowning Ophelia and other tragic heroines. So it's this group of teenage friends who are kind of obsessive in their friendship with each other. But as autumn draws nearer, tragedy strikes. Then jump to 1997, Ruth returns to her childhood home with her husband and 3 children, and an old family friend comes to stay. As the heat of the summer burns, how long can the family go before long-held secrets threaten to burst their banks and drown them all? This is another one I've been really, really excited to read. I need to get on with it. I loved her last book, The Animals at Lockwood Manor, and I think this one sounds even more my kind of thing. Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner is the memoir that everyone has been talking about. It originally started as an essay written by Michelle Zauner, who you may know, by the way, as another name as the pop artist Japanese Breakfast, and she wrote an essay about grief, about the death of her mother, and about the connections that she had with her mother through Korean food. And this essay went viral, was absolutely beloved, and now she's written this whole memoir. It's all about love and loss, it's about grief, it's about identity, and it's about the role of food in shaping Michelle's identity and her connection with both her mother and with her heritage as a whole. This is a book I've been very excited about, The Club by Elory Lloyd. Everyone's dying to join. So Elory Lloyd, this is the pseudonym for 2 authors who write together, and they previously wrote People Like Her, which was a thriller about social media that I absolutely loved. This one is a thriller about an exclusive private members club turned deadly. If your name's on the list, you're not getting out. So it's set at the opening of this kind of massive celebrity, super exclusive private members club on an island. But when the first guests start to arrive, it soon becomes clear that everything is far from perfect. And these guests are people with reputations on the line, reputations that they would do anything to keep. Daughters of Night by Laura Shepard Robinson, now out in paperback. This is another historical crime. So this is about Caroline Caution, who you may recognise because she was the wife of the main character in Laura Shepard Robinson's last book, Blood and Sugar, though this is a standalone, but you might recognise some of the shared characters. So Caroline Caution stumbles across a murder scene in the Vauxhall Pleasure Gardens. The victim is a well-dressed woman, but the police, who she straight away alerts, soon lose interest in the case when it is uncovered that this woman was a sex worker, a woman that London society does not want to associate themselves with. And so it is over to Caro to solve this case herself and bring justice for this woman. So it's a feminist historical fiction that turns a lot more dangerous than Caro was reckoning on. Oh, there's 2 poetry collections in here. So first I'll show you this one, She Will Soar, a collection of poems edited by Anna Sampson. These are bright, brave poems of freedom by women. From frustrated housewives to passionate activists, from servants and suffragettes to some of today's most gifted writers, here is a bold choir of voices celebrating their independence. So you've got authors in here from Carol Ann Duffy to Christina Rossetti, Emily Dickinson, Nikita Gill, so on and so forth. So this one's a really, really empowering anthology. And then I've got a poetry collection here by Denise Riley. So this is called Lurex. This is another fun, shiny cover. It's described here on the back as a dark yet sparkly book, which is exactly what it looks like on the cover too. Of astonishing range, with mordant satires, reflections on the poetic craft, viciously concentrated formal verse, elegies to friends, and a moving autobiographical sequence on the author's early life. So big range in here. It is a superb achievement by one of the very few truly indispensable voices in contemporary poetry. That is quite the write-up. Ooh, there's another children's book in here. A Dress with Pockets. That's so exciting. By Lily Murray and Jenny Lovely. It says on the front here, pockets lead to adventures. That is very true. It's a funny, fashion-forward story for children who want more than sequins and sparkles. Look at these gorgeous illustrations. All about this little girl wanting a dress with pockets so that she could go on adventures. Quite right too. And we're down to the final two. So I've got here The Kitchen Front by Jennifer Ryan. This one is based on a true story of essentially the Great British Bake Off set in World War II. So in this book, a BBC radio programme launches this cooking contest to help housewives with food rationing. And the book follows 4 of the women who are competing in this, each with their own really, really strong reasons for wanting to win. And it is actually inspired by true events. It says here it's an enchanting hug of a novel. And there's recipes throughout it. I love a book that has recipes in it. I never make any of them, but I just love the idea of it, and I hope that you will make them. And finally, The Redemption of Philip Vane by Lisa Byrne. This is a book that has been pitched to me as Bridgerton meets Groundhog Day, and I cannot think of anything better. Also, I hadn't realised until holding it in my hands right now quite how pink it is. That makes me so happy. It's champagne in book form, apparently. So this is about a man called Philip Vane who is stuck in a Groundhog Day-esque time loop. He's living the same day over and over again, but he still does not seem to be able to charm the delightful Miss Allen into his arms. Maybe it isn't Margaret who needs to change, but rather a certain rogue. So that was maybe the best book haul ever, the best and the biggest. Do leave a comment below letting me know which of those books you are most excited about, or any books that you have hauled this month that you have absolutely loved or just can't wait to read. I will link here to a playlist of all of our other book hauls so you can go back and browse through them, and I'll see you next time.